Most people think a clutter-free home means deep cleaning marathons and giving up weekends to sort piles. But that's not the case. Especially not for the seniors who've figured out how to live light, live well, and still keep their homes feeling calm, lived in, and beautifully clear. These aren't folks with minimalist furniture and color-coded drawers. They're real seniors, over 60, who've simply made a few smart shifts. The kind of tiny, no-effort habits that take less than a minute but completely change how a space feels. And here's the part no one talks about. It's not about what you own, it's about what you do with it. Maybe lately, you've looked around and thought, how did it get like this? A counter that's always cluttered. A dining table you haven't used in months. A hallway filled with "I'll get to it later" baskets. You're not alone. But if your home is feeling heavier than it should, you don't need a total overhaul. You just need a few things that work with your lifestyle, not against it. This video will walk you through 10 daily habits that seniors with truly clutter-free homes swear by. No special tools. No pressure to be perfect. Just real tips for real people, right where you are. Tap like and hit subscribe if you're ready for a home that feels peaceful again, without breaking your back or your budget. Let's get into it. Let's introduce you to someone who didn't just change her home. She changed how it feels to live in it. Bernice is 68 years old and lives just outside Eugene, Oregon, in the same single-story ranch where she raised her 2 boys. She's not a minimalist. She still keeps a few too many ceramic owls on the mantle and has a soft spot for fabric scraps she swears she'll turn into quilts. But one thing sets her apart. Her home never feels cluttered. Not anymore. Just a few years ago, it was a different story. Bernice spent most Saturdays trying to reclaim her living room from stacks of unread mail, misplaced keys, and bags she forgot to unpack. Sunday mornings were a frantic scramble to find her shoes or her medication. And by Monday, it looked like she hadn't done a thing. She was frustrated. She wasn't lazy. She wasn't messy. She was just overwhelmed. Like many seniors, her energy wasn't what it used to be, and bending, lifting, or reaching for cleaning supplies every day wasn't practical anymore. That's when she flipped the script. Instead of trying to clean more, she started looking at what created the mess in the first place. It wasn't the stuff, it was the habits. Now, Bernice doesn't organize her home. She prevents chaos before it starts. Every action is small, light, and sustainable. There's no big system, no special bins, and no timer going off every hour. Just rhythm. Flow. A home that works for how she actually lives now. And it shows. Even her daughter noticed during a recent visit and asked, "How come your dishes never pile up, but I never catch you doing them?" That's where this video begins, with the little choices Bernice makes each day that keep her home feeling calm without draining her energy. And yes, most of them take less than a minute. Let's take a look at the first one. It might just shift how you see your own home. Daily habit 1. They never leave a room empty-handed. Here's one of Bernice's quietest habits, and maybe the most powerful. She never leaves a room with empty hands. Not in a rushed or frantic way. Just one small item, each time. It might be a tea mug from the side table, a stray sock kicked under the recliner, or a coupon flyer left by the phone. And it's not a cleaning moment. She's not stopping what she's doing. She's simply using the natural flow of movement to nudge her space back into balance. This isn't about being neat for neatness' sake. It's about movement, a gentle rhythm. Bernice says the trick isn't about doing more chores. It's about doing less, but doing it while you move through your day. If you're heading to the kitchen to pour a glass of water and notice an empty snack bowl on the end table, why not take it with you? That's one less thing to handle later. It's such a small action, most people would overlook it. But over the course of a day, 10 small things disappear without you even thinking about it. No big effort, no time blocked off, just a home that quietly maintains itself. And on days when walking around feels like too much, Bernice keeps a lightweight drop basket near each main room. If her energy's low, she simply tosses an item in on her way out. Later, when she's feeling better, she'll empty the basket into its rightful place. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. What's the one thing you always leave behind when you leave a room? Tell us in the comments. We bet it's something most of us overlook every day. Daily habit 2. They keep a donation box visible. One of the biggest reasons clutter builds up, especially after 60, is because we're too kind. We hold on to things because they're still good, or they once belonged to someone we love, or because throwing them away just feels wrong. And you're right, most of it shouldn't be thrown away. But that's exactly why a visible donation box works like magic. It creates a gentle exit path for things that no longer belong in your home, but still have value somewhere else. Bernice learned this the hard way. She used to stash bags of maybes in her hallway closet. Clothes she might shrink into, kitchen tools she'd meant to pass on, books she never finished. The intention was there, but out of sight meant out of mind. The items sat and multiplied. Now, she keeps one medium-sized box beside her washing machine. Nothing fancy, just a clean cardboard box with a handwritten label. Still useful, but not to me. When she's folding laundry and notices a shirt she never wears, it goes straight in. When she tries a gadget and realizes she hates it, and it goes. She doesn't second-guess it. She trusts her first reaction. The key isn't just having a donation box. It's putting it somewhere visible. Not in the garage, not in a deep closet, somewhere you pass by regularly. That visibility sends a quiet message every day. It's okay to let things go. And once the box is full, she doesn't wait. She puts it straight in her car and drops it off at a local charity that same week. That small routine keeps her home from being a storage unit for stuff with good intentions but no purpose. Is there something in your home right now that's still useful, but not to you? You might already know exactly what it is. Daily habit 3. They flatten packaging immediately. Here's something sneaky about clutter. It often doesn't come from what you buy, but from what you don't break down. Boxes, wrappers, plastic trays, cardboard inserts. Those everyday packages we set aside for now quickly become little towers of clutter, especially near the entryway, kitchen table, or corner of the dining room. One Amazon box on the chair, a cereal box waiting to be recycled, a paper bag just in case. Bernice used to tell herself, "I'll collapse that later." But later always turned into never. Now, she flattens packaging immediately. Not when she remembers, not once a week, right as she opens it. It takes less than 10 seconds, and it's become so automatic she doesn't even think about it anymore. She keeps a small pair of scissors in a drawer near the kitchen table and a discreet bag hanging inside her pantry door. One for recycling, one for trash. She opens, flattens, tosses. Done. The packaging doesn't even get the chance to become clutter. What's powerful about this habit is that it eliminates the starting point of mess. Bernice realized that once a box is collapsed, she's never tempted to set it aside, just for now, because it's already dealt with. And if she's having a slower day, she keeps a tote under the table where she can toss packaging until she feels up to taking it outside. No guilt, no pressure, just a system that respects how her energy comes and goes. This one habit alone has cleared entire surfaces in her home. Not by decluttering them after the fact, but by never letting the pile start in the first place. Coming up next, the daily habit that helped Bernice completely clear her bathroom counters without tossing a single thing. You won't believe how simple it is. Daily habit 4. They keep counters reset ready. Let's talk about one of the most overlooked sources of visual stress in a home: countertops. Whether it's the bathroom sink, kitchen island, or hallway table, these flat surfaces become magnets for clutter. And once they're covered, it's like everything in a room feels heavier. That's why Bernice lives by one powerful phrase: reset ready. What does that mean? It means that every surface in her home can be cleared and returned to its natural state in under 60 seconds. This doesn't mean the counters are always empty. In fact, they often have personal touches: a candle, her daily vitamins, or a framed photo. But the key is that everything has a designated spot, and most of those spots live on trays. Bernice uses 2 trays per room. One tray is for essentials she uses every day, like hand lotion, a pill organizer, or her reading glasses. The other tray is for a few sentimental or decorative items. That might be a ceramic bird her granddaughter made, or a seasonal candle. If it's not on one of those trays, it doesn't belong on the counter. This simple trick creates a boundary without needing labels or rules. It also makes cleaning incredibly easy. When she needs to wipe down the bathroom sink or tidy up the kitchen, she simply lifts the tray, wipes underneath, and places it right back. Bernice says this shift transformed how her home feels. Not because it's ultra organized, but because it's easy to reset. There's no decision fatigue, no wondering where something goes, and no overwhelming mess to face in the morning. Even when things get busy or her energy dips, the reset-ready system ensures her space never spins out of control. The trays act like gentle anchors, keeping her daily life visible, but never chaotic. If you walked into your kitchen or bathroom right now, how long would it take to clear the surface? 1 minute or more? Give this one a try. It might change the way your whole home feels. Daily Habit 5. They practice the 9 p.m. sweep. This habit has nothing to do with cleaning sprays or scrubbing. It's not about tidying up for guests or trying to impress anyone. The 9 p.m. sweep is something entirely different, something gentler, more personal, and surprisingly powerful. Every evening, around the same time, Bernice takes a quiet walk through her home, not with a broom or vacuum, just her presence. She might straighten a chair that's a little off-center, stack a couple of magazines, fold the throw blanket on the couch. Maybe she turns off the kitchen light with a final glance to make sure the sink is empty and the counters are clear. Sometimes she'll fluff a pillow. Sometimes she doesn't touch a thing. It's not about doing, it's about noticing. This 9 p.m. sweep isn't about perfection. It's a closing ritual, a way of gently bringing the day to an end. For Bernice, it's a moment to reconnect with her space, to slow her thoughts, and to remind herself, I am still in control. My home supports me. Think of it like tucking your house in for the night. In a world that can often feel chaotic, especially as we age, having a quiet rhythm like this gives you something steady to hold on to. It's not loud, it's not complicated, but it creates emotional peace, something no organizing system or storage bin can replace. Bernice says that once she started doing this, she stopped waking up to messes that ruined her morning mood. She also noticed she was sleeping better because her mind wasn't spinning with undone tasks. The house felt calm, and so did she. You don't need to call it anything fancy. You don't need to do it exactly at 9. It could be before bed or after your evening tea. But walking slowly through your home with intention and care, even for just 3 minutes, can shift everything. Have you ever done something like this without even realizing it? Maybe a last look at the living room before turning off the lights? That's the beginning of a ritual that makes your home feel safe, cared for, and truly yours. Daily Habit 6. They let go of someday stuff instantly. We all have them. Those little things we hold on to because they might come in handy someday. A free tote bag from the pharmacy. A pen from a hotel you stayed at 3 years ago. An extra lid with no matching container. An old birthday card you felt guilty tossing. It's harmless, right? But here's what Bernice figured out. Someday stuff is the fastest way to crowd out peace. It sneaks in quietly, but it doesn't leave without a fight. She used to collect things without realizing it. A notepad here, an old charger there. Things she didn't need right now, but thought she might at some undefined point in the future. The problem? Someday rarely comes. And in the meantime, those little items add up. They fill drawers, spill into bags, and form piles that become too overwhelming to face. Now, Bernice has one simple rule. If it doesn't already have a home, it doesn't come in. It's not about being ruthless. It's about being realistic. She asks herself, do I know exactly where this will live in my home? Will I actually use it this week? Will I go looking for this item if I didn't already have it? If the answer is no, it goes straight in the donation box or the trash before it even has a chance to touch a counter or drawer. This habit might sound small, but it's one of the most protective boundaries she's built. It stops clutter at the door. It prevents guilt piles from forming. And it reminds her that her space is for her life now, not for every possible situation that might arise. Letting go of someday stuff isn't careless, it's wise. It frees your home from being a storage locker for what-ifs. It makes room for what matters most: peace, clarity, and the things you actually use and love. What's one item you've been holding on to just in case? You might not even miss it once it's gone. Daily Habit 7. They say no to holding for others. One of the most common and rarely talked about causes of hidden clutter in senior homes isn't even your own stuff. It's someone else's. As we get older, it's easy to become the default storage unit for adult children, grandkids, neighbors, or even old friends. It usually starts with a simple request. Can I leave this box here for just a little while? Don't toss this. It has memories for me. I'll pick it up soon. We don't have space right now, but you do, just until we move. And because we love them, we say yes. We make space. We shift things around. But months go by, then years, and suddenly a whole corner of the attic, a hall closet, or even a guest room is filled with their stuff, not yours. Bernice used to be in that exact position. She had boxes of her son's college books, a set of golf clubs from an ex-neighbor, and 3 tubs of holiday decorations her daughter-in-law meant to sell. None of it was hers, yet it took up space in her home, physically and mentally. That's when she drew a kind but firm line. I love you, but my home is not your garage. She gave everyone notice. If it's important to you, come get it by the end of the month. If not, I'll assume you've moved on. And I need to move on too. It wasn't easy, but was freeing. Because here's the truth. Your home should reflect your life now, not someone else's storage overflow. You've earned a space that feels light, peaceful, and personal, not burdened by someone else's delays or disorganization. Letting go doesn't mean cutting people off. It means respecting yourself enough to create boundaries. It's okay to help, but not at the expense of your peace. Be honest. Are you holding someone else's stuff right now? Comment yes or no below. No judgment, just awareness. That's where change begins. Daily Habit 8. They keep just one out. This habit might sound simple, but it's quietly transformative, especially for seniors who want their homes to feel calm, not chaotic. The rule is this: keep just one out. 1 lotion bottle on the counter, 1 comb on the vanity, 1 pair of slippers by the bed. That's it. The rest? It's either stored neatly, rotated seasonally, or let go entirely. Bernice began this practice after noticing how visually noisy her space had become. Her bathroom had 6 lotion bottles, all half-used. Her dresser had 2 pairs of reading glasses, 3 hairbrushes, and a tangle of jewelry she hadn't worn in years. Nothing was technically messy, but it constantly reminded her of unfinished decisions. So she tried something new. She didn't throw everything out. She just chose one of each. 1 brush that felt good in her hand, 1 lotion that worked well and smelled nice, 1 mug she actually used every morning instead of the 4 that always sat on the counter. Suddenly, her spaces breathed, surfaces looked clearer, mornings felt simpler, and because she had less in reach, she appreciated what she did use even more. This habit is especially helpful for older adults because it reduces decision fatigue. Fewer choices mean less stress. It also makes tidying faster, since there's less to move, clean around, or keep track of. You're not depriving yourself. You're just giving your attention to the things that truly serve you now. Try it in one small area first, maybe your nightstand or bathroom counter. Choose just one of each item to keep visible and store the rest in a nearby drawer. You'll be amazed at how much lighter your space feels. And if you're thinking, but what if I need the others? Don't worry, you haven't thrown them out. You've simply cleared your visual field so your mind can rest. Imagine your dresser top right now. What's one thing you could put away, and what's the one item that deserves to stay? Daily Habit 9. They declutter by routine, not emotion. Here's something no one tells you about clutter. It doesn't just take up space, it takes up mental energy. And the more emotionally attached you are to your things, the harder it becomes to let them go. That's why this habit is so important for seniors. Decluttering by routine, not emotion. Bernice doesn't wait for motivation. She doesn't wait for the mood to strike. And she definitely doesn't wait until the mess gets overwhelming. Instead, she follows a rhythm, a quiet, no-fuss routine that happens no matter what. Her trick? Every Monday, one drawer. Just one. Not the entire kitchen. Not the whole closet. Not a dramatic overhaul. Just a single drawer. It might be the junk drawer near the sink, or the top drawer of her nightstand. One week, it was her old recipe cards. She spent 5 minutes flipping through them, keeping the ones that made her smile and tossing the ones she hadn't looked at in years. Why does this work so well? Because it removes the pressure. There's no guilt. No, I should be doing more. There's just one task completed on schedule, and then she moves on with her day. Over time, this habit becomes like muscle memory. She doesn't have to think about it. It's Monday, so she does the drawer. Some weeks it takes 5 minutes, some weeks 10, but every week, she clears out one tiny pocket of her home, and slowly but surely, those small wins build momentum. She never waits for a decluttering weekend because she knows how draining that can be. Instead, her home evolves gently, drawer by drawer, shelf by shelf. No drama, no burnout. If you find yourself avoiding decluttering because it feels too big or too emotional, try this. Pick a day of the week. Choose one drawer. Set a timer if it helps. You're not tackling your whole life, just a sliver of it. And here's the truth. Once you start moving in rhythm, your home starts moving with you. One drawer at a time. Daily habit 10. They celebrate empty space. This final habit isn't about what you do. It's about how you see your home. For most of us, especially those raised in generations that prized usefulness and practicality, an empty shelf or a bare corner feels unfinished, like something's missing. But clutter-free seniors like Bernice have embraced a powerful mindset shift. Space isn't wasted, it's a feature. Bernice used to feel like she had to decorate every surface. A shelf without a vase, a table without a centerpiece. It felt too plain. She'd fill them with things she didn't love, just to make the room look full. Then one day, after clearing out a bookcase, she decided to leave one shelf empty, just for now. But the longer it stayed empty, the more she liked it. The room felt lighter. Her eyes weren't bouncing from object to object. There was room to breathe. Now, she intentionally leaves space open. A shelf with nothing but one photo frame. A table with a single lamp and nothing else. Her guests always say the same thing when they walk in. It just feels so peaceful in here. And that's exactly the point. Clutter-free living isn't about cold, sterile minimalism. It's about creating emotional room. Room for rest. Room for clarity. Room to just be. Bernice no longer apologizes for empty space. In her words, "My shelves don't look bare. They look peaceful. I finally stopped apologizing for not having more stuff." This habit changed how people feel in her home, and more importantly, how she feels in it. So here's something to think about. Is there a shelf, corner, or surface in your home that could use a little room to breathe? Try it. Leave it open on purpose. You might find that peace doesn't come from what you add, but from what you're brave enough to let go of. And now, let's step back and see what all these habits have built together. Because the transformation isn't just physical. It's emotional, too. Bernice doesn't live in a home that would end up on the cover of Fancy magazine. She doesn't follow decorating trends or own matching bins with calligraphy labels. But walk in her space, and you'll notice something even better. Her home breathes. It's not stuffed. It's not sterile. It's not trying to prove anything. It simply supports her. It moves with her rhythms. It holds only what she loves, only what she needs, and nothing that weighs her down. And that's the quiet magic of these 10 habits. For Bernice, clutter-free living isn't about tossing everything or reaching some imaginary level of perfection. It's about protecting her peace. She's not trying to win at organization. She's creating a home where she can rest, focus, laugh, and just be. She realized it was never really about getting rid of things. It was about learning to keep only what gives back. There might be a chair that fits her body well, a tray that holds her everyday items, a drawer that opens easily without overflow, or a shelf with nothing on it, but one framed photo of her grandkids. Every habit you saw in this video was chosen not for how clever it sounds, but for how it feels to live with it. Because after 60, peace isn't a luxury, it's a necessity, and your home should reflect that. So if even one of these daily habits made you pause and say, "I can do that," then your journey has already begun. Give this video a thumbs up if you felt inspired. Share it with someone whose home deserves the same peace. And subscribe to Wise Aging Seniors for more real life, no pressure ways to thrive in the season you're in. Because you deserve a home that gives back to you every single day.